What's some of the differences between this camp and last camp for Fury? In terms of mindset, I know normally because it's a big fight, you getting pulled in a lot of different directions. But I see that you guys contain that and you made 2 organized press conferences.
Yeah. I mean, what's different is we got different looks. You know, definitely our approach is different. I got 2 hands this time.
You mean 2 healthy hands?
2 healthy hands for sure. I broke my right hand last time, so I got 2 healthy hands this time, and I'm just happy. I'm more happier. We in great spirit as always, but it's just been something about just coming off of those 2 knockouts, dramatic knockouts, and then coming back, getting right back in camp. You know, it remind me of when I first turned pro as a prospect. I was fighting 6 times a year, and some of those was back to back within 2 weeks of span. You know what I'm saying? I'm at it again, so it kind of remind me of that phase in my life, which we like that. We like this quick turnaround. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people I'm in shape and just keep shape on top of shape. So, you know.
So Ben Davison dropped a clip today with BT Sports. You know, BT Sports promoting your fight in the UK, and he said that your wide stance is what allowed Fury to get away from you. When I talk to Jay feels like your wide stance gives you that agility. What do you think?
My wide stance will give me an ability to do a lot of things. It just depends on what I'm using it for at that moment in time. You know, I love when trainers try to dissect me and try to figure out certain things about me. It's very hard to do because of my style, because of my awkwardness, and you know the way I'm structured. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that keep trainers always off guard about me. No one really knows the true Deontay Wilder. They can only assess the situation as appropriately as they can. You know, which makes me feel good. You know, because I got many styles. I can use it in many different ways, not just because it's textbooks or the ordinary. I'm the type of person that I do the unordinary things. You know, man, I do the unpredictable. You know, when you think one way, you know, oh, it can't be possible, I make that possible. I make the impossible possible. And for that, I'll never be figured out.
So, do you feel like every time you throw your right hand, it was before a jab? Or do you ever lead with the right?
Every now and again I lead with the right. You know, the jab is the setup hand. You know, so it's the jab is, you know, so it's always muscle memory to start with the jab, finish with the jab. That's what you're taught, to start with the jab and finish with it, or finish with the hook. Start with the left, you know.
So if I parry your jab, but let's say you already knew you wanted to throw the 1-2, but I parried your jab, would that right hand still come behind your jab? Because that's what you wanted to do?
Not necessarily. I can turn the jab into a hook as well. You know, so it varies. It depends on what position my opponent in and what look he's giving me at that moment in time. You know, I can throw the jab and then go to the body with the right hand. I can throw the jab and come with a jab to the body. I come with the jab and turn the jab off into a hook. I can turn the jab into a body hook. I mean, I can turn the jab into a body hook. You know what I'm saying? They come back with the 2, which means the right hand. So there's so many different ways you can decorate that. It's just like a tree. I'm putting different ornaments on it. You know what I'm saying? And when you get used to the obvious, then you know it's time to switch it up.
So, did you feel Fury jabbing at your right hand during that fight, or you don't remember that?
No, I don't recall. I don't remember that all that jabbing at the right. Because if he did, you know, it didn't throw me off and nothing like that. But I wasn't concerned about that. You know, it's a lot of things that I did in that fight that I don't normally do. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of mistakes that was made that I don't normally do because of the anticipation of the fight and the excitement, the hype that was up to it. You know, me
So
being,
you mean looking for the KO?
me just straight looking for the KO, man. I changed my whole game plan. I didn't stick with it at all. You know, because of the excitement and just being here, man. Nobody really understands how that feels when you're battling for so long, for so many years, especially in the heavyweight division, had to come out of a damn black hole, and you feel like you the only hope in America as far as the heavyweight is concerned to bring the attention to it. None of these other guys out of the other country ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And
so isn't looking for the knockout and looking for the right shot the same thing? Because in the Ortiz fight, you still waited until you found that shot.
Looking for the knockout, you can throw it at any given time. I mean, you're just looking for the result of the knockout. You want a knockout. You know what I'm saying? With the Ortiz, it was calculated. It was planned. It had structure behind it. You know what I'm saying? It had a principle behind it. With the Fury, it didn't. You know, you can see me many times throwing the right hand at a far distance, knowing that I wasn't going to land it, but still throwing it. You know what I'm saying? And
was that just to try and cut the distance, or just to?
I don't know, man. Just having fun. Okay. Basically, I can't really. I don't have an explanation for it. You know, I go back at the video, look at it. You know, of course, you be like, "Damn, what are you doing, bro?"
You get mad?
No, I don't get mad. You can't get mad at something that you did. You just going to correct.
Well, I mean more than this, because I watch video myself, and I'm like, I want to always look better.
Right. But being mad ain't gonna get you to that point. You know, I don't want to be frustrated. I don't want my brain to be cloudy with frustration and being mad. I want to have a clear mindset, so that way I can assess the situation better. You know what I mean? I did it, but don't know how. So I need to, you know, instead of getting mad, being mad allow me like, damn, you know, you might go in and make the same mistake and not be able to correct it. But for me, I'm just speaking for self. But for me, when I have a clear mind, I'm able to have a clear mind. When I have a clear mind, everything with my mindset and how it's structured, everything else become better as well. So it allowed me to sit back, look at that situation, and you know, change up some things, or adjust some things. Because I really don't know why I did that. You know, just even look, but to, you know, just having fun, just, you know, allowing the fight to live up to the hype, and all those different things. There's a lot of things I did in that fight I don't normally do on a daily basis. Just like hold my hands up with high guards. Like I don't do that. That ain't my style. Having high guards up. So you know.
That's so funny you bring up the high guard, because they was talking about it today in that BT Sports review. And you know, Ben just kept saying he's got to occupy your right hand so that you can't use it offensively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, he got to jab at it, he got to throw a hook at it, make sure Deontay's blocking with that hand.
But that's a lot of thinking. We already thinking enough in the ring. And when guys try to think about how to stay away from the right hand, you know, they forget about so many other tactics that I have. The left, you know what I'm saying, the body, the jab to the head, jab to the stomach. You know, all those things. Once you start worrying about the right hand too much, then I'm going to allow you to focus on something else. And then when you forget about that right hand, you just let you know it never left. It was still there, but your mind is mesmerized by something else because you've been so worried about this right hand, and when it lands, what's gonna happen? Then by the time you realize what's going on, I don't know, I done set you up, I done set you right back up for the right hand.
What's sweeter for you? What's sweeter, to get rid of him in the first, you know, like you normally do with guys in the first 6, or to punish him for the 12?
You know, I don't get paid for overtime. So, you know, the earlier the better for me, no matter what style it is. You know, of course, I come in for dramatic knockouts. Of course, that's what I'm built out for. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. We all know that.
Would you feel you'll get the credit if you Dominic Brazil'd him? You know, would people say, oh, he caught him cold because he's such a skilled guy? If you did it in the first, would they give you the full credit? Or you think because it was him and you did it in the first, you would get all the credit?
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see.
You never thought about that, huh?
No,
they might try to steal it from you. Like, oh, he was cold. He didn't get warmed up.
Right, you know. But when it comes to me, there's always something. I never get my full credit. There's always gonna be something said. But you know, you can't listen. Can't really, for one, you can't really worry about that. And you can barely listen to what people are talking about. Because every time they don't know what they're talking about. And then even if they know what they're talking about, they can't do what you do. So it's irrelevant at the end of the day.
So we was talking about myths earlier. What about warming up before the fight, like in the back? Should you come into the ring sweaty? Should Deontay be shiny when he walks in, or is that just another myth that a fighter has to be warmed up or looks lathered up to be ready?
Warming up is at your own discretion. You know what I mean? You don't have to warm up, but if you're smart, you will warm up. You want to get that blood flowing. You know, you want to get your muscles loose. You want to be able to execute your game plan in the back on the mitts, so it always, you know, it's fresh on your mind. Although it becomes a muscle memory during camp time, and then you go out there and do what you do. You know what I mean? Just because you ain't sweating, that don't indicate that you're not ready or warmed up. Sometimes the temperature in the back is not adjusted to the right temperature, you know what I'm saying, that won't allow you to sweat. And that's always be my thing, like turning this motherfucker AC off.
So do you have Joey do this on fight night, like in the locker room? All this still happens? All this still,
everything we do, we do in the back. They say practice make perfect, huh?
Mm-hmm. So what, 3 fights now, if we include this camp. You said you getting back to the basics. Has that changed, or you still doing the basics?
I'm still, you know, each and every day I'm training, I'm practicing, I'm learning more ways to throw the jab, more ways to throw the right hand, more ways to throw the hook, more ways to go to the body. All of it, man. There's so many different ways to throw a combination, throw punches. It's amazing, you know. So I train for all that. You can never train enough on the fundamentals. You know, although I know I do it in a different way. But you know, it's all about understanding. And in this sport, I never want to be able to say I know it all. Kill you right there. I never want to say I know it all. So with that being said, it allows me to keep learning. Because you can twist your wrist in many ways within the jab to break guard, to get through openings that you wouldn't be able to do just squaring your fists off. There's certain type of methods you can throw your arms in angles that you're probably not able to do just regularly. Like, people gotta understand that. Like, there's so many ways to throw a punch, and not just the straight one-on-one fundamentals. Because just think about it, the proper fundamentals is easy to predict. When you throwing shit crazy, jab this way, that way, hammering away a certain type of way, you don't know what's gonna happen. It's unpredictable. And in boxing, we know that what you don't see hurts you. So
is that something you think you're gonna implement in this fight, the jab? Because I believe it was the third round. I can't say you broke his nose, but you definitely bust his nose in the third with the jab, right?
Yeah, I mean, he talks about my jab. So,
are you gonna use it more? Every time I come, you know, I want to see Bermain Stavern won. Everything behind that jab, because that's the performance that nobody can't get around. I know you want dramatic finishes.
Performance, everybody doing that performance though. That's the thing. What's different? What's different? What would make me different from anybody else?
Because by the 6th round, they tired.
Y'all talking about rounds? Y'all talking about rounds and getting people tired?
Because you done beat him with the jab.
Look, I don't get paid for overtime.
Oh, D.
I don't get paid for overtime. So, you know, with that being said, I use my appropriate assessments of the fight. My looks, what I get, you know what I mean? I hear what my corners say as well, but I'll take the appropriate measurements of what I should do and my instincts, you know what I mean, and the muscle memory that I'm in the ring. That's how I go by, you know. Of course, you know, the jab is great, the setting up and stuff, but I ain't finna be just jabbing nobody and just using fundamentals just to get them tired. I'm not in the business of getting you tired. My presence alone make you tired.
No, you
my
ain't
demeanor
lying.
itself make you tired. You know, not only I make you physically tired, but I make you mentally tired because when you step in the ring, you already think about stay the fuck away from the right hand.
Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nina, attention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Whenever you could talk, did that Ortiz knockout make you any more confident? You already was calling yourself the baddest man on the planet, but I'm just saying, to knock a person out from the forehead, does that like, man, I told you.
Oh yeah.
Those moments.
Really too, bro. I mean, not only that fight, but the Brazil fight as well. You know what I mean? These fights have made me more confident leading up to the fight. I mean, of course, each fight that you're in is gonna make you confident. It's gonna make you more confident. That's why it's important to pick the right fights. Because if you pick soft touches, then what have you really learned? You ain't learned nothing from the last fight you fought with it because it was so easy. You know, and you knew it was gonna be a soft touch-up. You already know that coming in.
So let me ask you.
When you have competition, you know you gotta be on your shit. It makes you better. It makes you, makes your senses and stuff better. You know, leading into another fight. I mean, what other guy that fought killer after killer after killer, coming back fighting killer, you know what I mean?
So what are you expecting from Fury? Because before he fought you, he had 2 step-ups, right? Now, exactly. Now, Schwartz and Wallin weren't step-ups, but they also ain't, you know, they had, at least Wallin showed he world level.
Well, in the fight, I mean, he had to show some things or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But still, at the end of the day, he had a position where he is because he is what he is. If it was different, he'll be among the elite. You know, everybody need the opportunity to present themselves as well too. But you have to take it for what it is. Still, sometimes the guys that you think easy to touch up, if you let them stay in the ring long enough, they'll be able to find openings, they'll be able to do certain things, and the longer it goes, the worse it can become for you. Where you can be like, damn, this dude exposed you, or whatever they want to call it, or whatever. So, and that's what he did. He found an opening, he was able to throw a couple of combinations and find different spots on Fury. And he calculated that. He built that data up, and he was starting to doing the same thing, especially when he bust his eye. You know what I'm saying? When you get it like that, and we all fighters. We all have that killer instinct. Like a dog, you see blood, you have that instinct. So, you know, then it's all about the game plan too. You can hit the fan too. I mean,
kill the heat.
But it's gonna kill me.
Good. Stretch. Down to it. Short camp. Perfect.
Two-hand camp.
Two-hand camp.
Two-hand camp, baby.
Two-hand camp.
2 balls.
2 balls.
1 deal.
1 deal.
What if we had 3 balls?
What if we did? You know how much singing that'll be?
That'd be like that movie, E.T., the extra testicle.
Hey. 2 digs and 3 balls, boy. There's some killing shit going on. I be hitting that goddamn. I be hitting that camera and something every time I walk in the dressing room, in the bedroom. Killer. Kill. You know what time it is.
free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.